Hey there, my friends. Hope your week is off to a good start. It's been a pretty productive Monday for me so far. Got in the gym a little earlier than usual today. Got some work done this morning. Got some errands taken care of, and I'm one step closer to getting another car. So keep your fingers crossed for me on that. But anyhow, today I just wanted to start the week off talking about what I consider the biggest problem on a plant-based diet, or the biggest reason why people don't sustain on it, but also there's kind of like a second reason as well. But the biggest reason I see so many people, like, they do this thing for a little while, they eat a plant-based diet for a little while, and then they just eventually stop, or their health goes really bad, is because of one thing, and that's because they're not eating enough. You're never going to change my mind. You're never going to change my mind that with this plant-based diet, you have to eat enough food. You have to eat an adequate amount of food. And also, I guess I'd call the 1B to the big part of it, of not eating enough, is the second would be not getting enough variety in your food. There's some people that are so restrictive. And, like I say, I've gotten really into the variety thing the last 3 or 4 years. And I look back to Costa Rica, and I could kind of be like that myself. I put a little bit more emphasis on mono meals back then that I don't really necessarily do now. And there were years where I didn't get that much variety in mine. But I've always been an eater. Ever since I started doing this lifestyle, I've been an eater. Now, just for reference, and I have to say this over and over in my videos, I've been saying it I am not a fully raw vegan. So that's something, too, that a lot of people get their nose bent out of joint about, because a lot of the failures and a lot of the problems seem to occur more in the raw community than they do just people that are actually just focused, what I like to call, like I say, I don't follow him that closer, but I like Dr. Furman's word, a nutritarian, looking for nutrients, just trying to get all the different things that we need in our bodies. And also what we see on the raw side of it too is that's where it's always juice fast and cleansing and detox. And just too many, I think of some of the Facebook groups that I was in over the years. I'm not in anymore for reference. I just remember it was always so restrictive, eating less, doing another island where you basically ate one thing a day for 30 months, doing another cleanse, eating less, but it was always about eating less. And if you listen to people when they would talk about their experiences and talk about problems they were having, they always seemed to be white knuckling it because they were always hungry, and they were always hungry because they were not feeding their body. Now this, I've talked a bit more about aging in the last couple of years, as I'm about to hit my 60th birthday here, not long from now, about a month from now, actually. And especially for the older people, the younger people, you can do a lot of stuff. Like, I was crazy drunk, so, I drank like a fish and ate horrible food when I was in my 20s. So you can correct from a lot of bad stuff when you're younger, although I'm not saying you should go out and test that. But especially for somebody, as we're getting older, I think it's a big mistake for people that come to this lifestyle at an older age, or maybe have been even doing it for a while, but they have not been getting the kind of nutrition they need. Because I was listening to a talk by Simon Hill on The Proof today, just on it had to do with aging, muscle loss, strength loss, and the reasons why people, as they get older, up into their, sometimes in their 70s, sometimes younger, sometimes 80s, 90s, and they're not able to be independent anymore, and they're not able to take care of themselves. And it's usually because of simple things, like I'm sitting in a chair right now. It usually boils down to they're not able to get up on their own. They don't have adequate lower body strength for that. And even if you're working out, even if you're doing exercise, you need nutrition. You need food to make it worth anything. So I just highly advise people, try to educate yourself a little bit more. Listen, read a few books. Get some real sources on nutrition, because we need an adequate amount of calories for different reasons. Like I say, number one, we need an adequate amount of calories to keep us satiated. And we need to eat a combination of food, and we need to eat food, high fiber foods, because when we eat enough food, we're not hungry all the time. And then we're not tempted to overcorrect. Like, sometimes people are like restricting until they're not. And then they flip out and they go eat something. And then it's kind of like binge eating, the same thing as people losing weight and whatever, and are trying to lose weight on a restrictive any kind of restrictive diet. Not going to last, not going to sustain over a period of time. And then the second reason that you need to get the adequate calories that your body requires is to get that variety and to get all those different things that our body needs. So like I say, I just kind of try to share from my perspective. I don't like to do any of this stuff from a preachy manner, or you should do this or you should do that, as it's always been. I'm just sharing my thoughts on it and how I eat and how I practice whatever I'm talking about every day. So please, please, please don't get caught up in the restrictive version of this lifestyle. And if you don't take that advice, don't blame the plant-based diet when you're not able to sustain anymore, and when you're back to eating horrible food and you're like, well, it didn't work for me. It didn't work for you because you didn't eat enough food. You were starving yourself. And I'll just finish by saying that there have been this is not a light note, and I'm not saying this with any humor whatsoever. Been doing this almost for 12 years, and I can't tell you the amount of people, and a lot of times they go behind the scenes to a lot of people that have passed away, the people that have had health emergencies. And you'll never convince me that certain ones of these health emergencies are not brought on entirely by restricting your food, too much fasting, too much of this stuff. So you need to eat. We were born to eat. I'm going to keep eating until they lower me into the ground or turn me to ash. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you here again throughout the week. Peace.